Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer weiteren Episode Danganronpa. Jetzt lösen wir mal auf, wer der Mörder ist, ja? Ich hoffe, es ist Akane, aber es wird Fuyuhiko sein, vermutlich. I'm already used to insult and slander. There's no way I will get hurt by a mere word. Monomi, you are seriously stuffatily? That's much more straightforward than I expected. Stuffatily, That's not it. That's not it at all. Stupid, fat, ugly, the perfect jet stream attack incorporating all three of these words would be tada! Stuffatily. There's a fat hidden in there?
Okay, everyone, all together now. Monomi is a serious stuffatly.
Stuffatly. Okay. Muss ich mir merken. Jetzt wisst ihr, wann ich das aufgenommen habe.
Hello. I hope your day is well. I'm trying to force myself to be more energetic, or else my mental state won't be able to keep up. Ugh, my heart's thumping like crazy. I might as well have a laid-back, so what attitude and go ahead with high energy. Yeehaw! But be careful that your batteries don't run out for various reasons. And just like I say each time, don't forget to save frequently.
Ist das für Mobilgeräte und so?
I never expected the funhouse itself to be the ultimate weapon. Oh well, let's just press on ahead. Is it really alright to accept a situation so easily? I mean, that's not what's important. The thing that's really important is the killer who used the building structure. Like, who's Mekumaru's murderer?
But is it really okay to believe the building is the weapon? Nagito said it, you know.
There's no way I'd lie at such an important moment. I don't want to die either.
What happened to the bastard who kept saying how much they didn't mind dying?
He's right. There was a time
Moment, das heißt aber,
stepping stone for your hopes, but
wenn man... Holy shit, ich habe noch was dafür, dass es Fuyuhiko sein muss, was zeitlich nicht passt. Wenn Nekomaru dann im Grape House war und da aufgehangen wurde, hätte Fuyuhiko runterlaufen müssen, Grape House aktivieren müssen, um dann wieder hochzurennen. Das passt einfach nicht.
sincerely retract that remark.
Retract?
I'm disappointed.
Also,
You know, if this was a murder for the sake of hope, I'd happily sacrifice myself.
You say such falsehoods, per usual. There is no such thing as murder for the sake of hope. Murder is simply murder. Forcibly sacrificing others for one's own desires. Even one as diabolical as I would avoid such actions.
I see.
It's fine. Let's just leave him alone and find out who killed Coach Nekomaru as fast as we can. Just so you know, it's not like I'm getting hungry or anything, you know.
Akane! You're drooling waterfalls?
Nagito, as usual, I can't tell what he's thinking. I have no idea if he's
Anyway,
serious or not.
If the killer used the building structure, why don't we think about how they used it?
How they killed Nekomaru.
It might be better if we clarify the cause of death first, don't you think?
Nekomaru's cause of death was horribly damaged, as if he was beaten senseless with a blunt object. But if he was beaten with a blunt object, it wouldn't be a kill that utilized the building structure. So what was... Yeah...
I see! That's it. I think he might have died from falling.
Died from falling?
If the funhouse's secret is that it's a structure where both towers and houses are vertically connected, then the killer made use of its height and caused Nekomaru to die from falling.
Are you saying they pushed him off? Where'd they push him off from?
That, I don't know yet.
Don't just make things up when you don't know the method. Where in that building would you even be able to push someone off in the first place?
It might be possible in the tower. You could push him off the 4th floor when the elevator is on the 1st floor.
Did you forget how the elevator functions? When it's on the first floor, the door on the fourth floor won't open.
Saying he died from falling is truly incorrect. You should burn in the flames of hell.
But my gut is going crazy right now.
If Nekomaru died from falling, where did the killer shove Nekomaru from? I'm going to reach the truth behind this incident. I need to solve that mystery next. Ja, hier Rope. Oder Wire. Oder Broken Doorknob.
When the elevator is on the first floor, you can't go through the door on the fourth floor.
It'd be impossible to shove off the victim from up there.
Then, how about this? After locking Nekomaru inside the elevator, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor and made use of the drop.
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside, the other door won't open. Which means the elevator wouldn't have moved either.
That must be the threshold of that elevator.
Ja, Good Night Button da, alle
When the
Funktionalitäten.
elevator is on, you can't go through the door.
It'd be impossible.
Then, after locking they moved the elevator and made use of the...
Hold on! Did you forget the elevator has a sensor? As long as there's a moving object inside.
No, that's wrong! That sensor should only work if something is moving. If Nekomaru wasn't moving inside, the elevator sensor wouldn't have detected anything.
Could it be his sleep mode?
When Nekomaru's goodnight button is pressed, all of his functions shut down, and he enters sleep mode. If he's in sleep mode, the elevator sensor wouldn't have noticed him, right?
I see. So that's how...
However, even if they moved the elevator in that manner, Nekomaru would have just moved along with it. There would have been no drop for him to fall and die from. Yes?
That's what I was about to explain, before Kazuichi interrupted me. Silence, pest!
Now you're calling me a pest?
A way to create the drop inside the elevator while Nekomaru is still in it. Jackie seems to have an idea, but what way could that be? Oh, Wire oder Broken Doorknob?
If you arrange it a certain way, you can cause the drop within the elevator.
Yes.
So you're telling us all to think about the arrangement, right?
That arrangement is...
The hammer is suspicious.
Nein.
Isn't it about time we went over the pillar again?
What about the oil on the floor?
Nein.
The doorknob on the floor seems suspicious.
I agree with that. Didn't the doorknob have scrape marks on it? That might have been where it got scraped by the wire.
Is that the same wire that was tied around Nekomaru?
The tip of that wire was tied into a loop. If the elevator moved while that...
If they did something like that, he would have been suspended in midair.
That's right. He was suspended in midair.
Huh?
The killer tied up Nekomaru with the wire while he was in sleep mode. Tied the tip of the wire into a knot and hung it on the doorknob to the fourth floor.
Da war ich jetzt schon letzte Episode dran.
Now, they moved the elevator from the fourth floor to the first floor of Great Tower. And suspended Nekomaru in midair.
That's right! He was so well hung! Kinda like...
You better not finish that sentence!
Toll.
The killer took advantage of the elevator's unique feature. Only the floor moved. By doing that, they created a drop so Nekomaru could fall to his death.
Too easy. So what if they created a drop? There's no way you can make him fall and die with just that. Why? If Nekomaru is suspended in midair like that, then how do you get him to fall? Because if he's suspended in midair, he won't die if he doesn't actually fall. Even if they suspended Nekomaru from... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
Lol, ich habe keine Dings mehr, keine Cutter.
Even if they suspended Nekomaru from... How would they make him fall? There's no one in the tower to push him off. There's no way they could do that.
It doesn't mean someone had to push him off. impossible that he fell on his own.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have still been in sleep mode, right? If he was sleeping, there's no way he could do that. Now's the time, but in that case, you still won't be able to explain that moving the elevator with Nekomaru in is just impossible. End of story.
Hold on.
What? Nekomaru fell on his own? Nekomaru should have...
Allow me to cut through those words. What do you think would happen if Nekomaru woke up while he was suspended upside down in midair?
What are you saying? Like, how would he even wake up?
He has an alarm inside his body. As long as it was armed, it would have deactivated his sleep mode. Which means the killer set the alarm before they suspended Nekomaru.
You woke up from an alarm and realized you were hanging upside down and had no clue why. If something like that happened to you, you would start panicking a lot, right? Instinctively, your body would start moving. Nekomaru probably did exactly that.
And then, in order to make him fall from the force he was generating, the wire was hung on the tip of the doorknob so it would easily slip off. In actuality, the scrape marks caused by the wire were near the tip of the doorknob, right?
But Nekomaru didn't fall because the wire came off, right?
He fell because the entire doorknob came off.
When Nekomaru awoke, he must have struggled much more than expected, which caused the doorknob to break off.
Was that unexpected for the killer too?
Well, that's probably it. If they knew it'd leave behind evidence like that, they would have at least tried to do something to cover it up.
The killer didn't expect the doorknob to come off. The reason that even happened was because... In that case, you shall use my full power. In fierce roar, Nekomaru put all his power into grabbing the doorknob with both hands, but... Not yet, here it comes, the incredible strength of million horsepower. Wait, isn't it creaking? If you break off the doorknob, we'll get stuck in here. If that's really what it was, then that's the clue Nekomaru left us for us to find.
So that's how Nekomaru fell to his death.
Do you finally understand now?
Yeah. It appears it's just as Miss Sonia said. I'm just a pest. No, I'm not just a pest. I'm a total fucking pig. Isn't that right, Miss Sonia? If I'm a fucking pig, you can say so.
No, I believe you gave your all.
Hey, why aren't you teasing me anymore?
This guy, he gets off on this.
So thanks to that alarm, Nekomaru ended up falling while he was still hanging upside
Aber das passt
down.
nicht mit der Zeit.
That doesn't mean he just crashed straight into the floor. Of course, you know that too, right?
It doesn't mean Nekomaru crashed straight to the floor. The more Nekomaru fell on top of the floor, the only thing I can think of that happened was...
I see!
Ja.
When Nekomaru fell to the floor, he ended up colliding with the pillar. Isn't that it?
Finally, the pillar!
So that's how the pillar shattered, and why oil was spilled all over the place.
See, I told you the pillar was the weapon. My gut was totally right.
Well, the pillar was a bonus. It's not even clear if the killer intended that, or if it was just a coincidence.
At this point, it is quite difficult to find a clue that will lead to the killer.
Then what about the alarm? I'm positive the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m. And if we map it out from there...
Hold on, baby gangsta.
Stop calling me baby gangsta!
What'd you just say? Did you say the alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.?
You didn't check it yourself? Nekomaru's alarm was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nah, that's impossible, because even though I slept in a little, I still got to the tower at 7 in the morning.
Now that you mention it, so did I. There was no way I could be late for Monokuma Tai Chi, so I left for Grape Tower before 7 a.m.
And if we found Nekomaru's body there, it would have been before the 7:30 a.m. alarm went off.
It appears yet another contradiction has been birthed. How were you able to discover Nekomaru died at 7:30 a.m. when you went to the tower at 7?
That's what I want to know!
Another mystery I don't understand seriously. It's just another one after another, but I can't choke up at a time like this. Just a little more and we'll be able to reach the truth. There should definitely be a clue to breaking through this contradiction.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Ja.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Nein.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest. That's gotta be it!
We headed for Grape before 7 a.m.
But the alarm inside was set for 7.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some tampering. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
What? Achso, nicht in Nekomaru's chest. Sorry.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest
Oh nee,
was
Moment.
set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and one of those must.
Killer probably
Wir müssen Sonja anklicken, dass er mit den anderen Uhren gemästet hat.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
Crap!
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside Nekomaru's chest was set for 7:30 a.m.
Nekomaru died because of that alarm, right?
His time of death and the time the body was discovered. One of those must be an illusion.
Killer probably did some. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
Nein! Achso, muss ich,
We headed for Grape before 7 a.m.
But the alarm inside was set for 7.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and one of those must.
Killer probably did some. They probably messed with the clock inside Nekomaru's chest.
That's gotta be it.
Mist with the Clock falsch geschrieben, Pock.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
Ja.
We headed for Grape Tower. Before 7 a.m., I am certain.
But the alarm inside was set for 7.
Nekomaru died.
His time of death and one of those must.
Killer probably did some tamp. They probably messed with the clock.
Nein,
inside
das kann er
Nekomaru's-
nicht, weil das ist eine Radio Club. Jetzt möchte ich aber direkt die Lösung sagen, was wirklich passiert ist.
No, the clock inside his chest was a radio clock, so it would have been impossible to mess with.
So you're
Ich bin wieder
saying
viel zu
there's
weit.
No way the killer could have tampered with the clock?
Maybe the clock Miss Sonia saw was the one that got tampered with.
The clock inside Grape House?
No, I checked all the clocks inside the funhouse.
Oh, that's what I asked you to do. So you really listened to me and checked all the clocks.
And because of that, I can confidently declare that all the clocks had the same time display.
Die du geändert
There's
hast.
no possibility that the time was tampered with. Then we must doubt that human's testimony.
Please believe me, we are not lying.
Then maybe it's a misunderstanding.
I never misunderstand. I'll crush you into dog food.
This time-related contradiction, I don't think I should doubt the testimonies. I should doubt the clock. There's no mistake that something was done, but what was it? Perhaps we overlooked something. Maybe we are misunderstanding something. I think I should be able to find the answer to that mystery. Okay. Ja, der lügt, ne? Der muss es sein. Sherlock. What did Hajime... Ja, das man... Muss ich hier rüber? Uff, lol. Oh boy. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Imagine losing because you can't surf, Louis. Lol. Ja, moin. Direkt wieder 10 Jahre zurücksetzen. Okay, gar. Mann, ich konzentriere mich viel zu sehr darauf nach links. Okay. Stell dir vor, als Kind kriegst du sowas nicht hin und deswegen hörst du einfach so ein Spiel auf zu spielen. Das gab's halt echt. Ich wusste zum Beispiel bei Bomberman nicht, wie ich große Bomben hinbekomme, also habe ich mich durch alle Level geglitscht. Pock. No joke. Finally. Which clock was tampered with? The building's clock. Und das, was mir bei Bomberman geholfen hat, war dann, dass ich im Rainbow Place halt einfach alles instant hinbekommen habe. Schwerste Area EU. Die habe ich dann irgendwann mal kennengelernt, die Area. Das war richtig krank als Kind. Hast ein Leben lang dein Spiel gespielt und auf einmal komplett neue Area. Which house at the wrong time? Both. Oder? Oh. Nee, Moment. Oh nein. Stimmt. Ja, dann passt das alles. Genau, wie ich meinte.
It's all coming together. You said you checked all the clocks inside the building. Isn't that right, Fuyuhiko?
Yeah, none of the clocks had the wrong time.
But what if all those clocks have been messed with?
What? All the clocks?
So even if you checked all the clocks inside the building, there's no way you'd have noticed it.
I see. So the killer messed with the time inside the whole building by changing all the clocks.
So that's what it was. There's no way I would have noticed that.
This is truly fantastic!
Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much was the time off?
She's right, that's the main problem. We need to clarify how much time the time was off after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the next mystery. I'm going to reach the truth in one go. 2 Stunden.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow?
7:30 in unserer Zeit wäre 5:30 Uhr.
If only I heard the sound when you fell. It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
Oh Mann, bei how much?
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock.
The time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when you fell. It would have been a great clue.
Or his scream.
He's not the type.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in
Haben
saying
wir.
if does not exist in this world.
If the time in the building was all messed up,
then we can only rely the time of it's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, in our time.
Are there any clues that if only I heard the sound when you fell?
Ja,
it would have been a great
tat
clue.
man, aber
The scream.
He's not the type to...
Only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough. We would have heard it too.
There's no point in if does not exist in this world.
If the time in the build, then we can only rely the time of it's clearly 7.
The problem is, in our time.
darf
Are
ich?
there any clues that if only I heard the sound it would
Ja,
have been a
das
great
mache ich
clue?
als nächstes.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
Only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough.
If the time in the build, then we can only rely the time of death, which is clearly 7:30.
The problem is, what time is 7 in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to if only I heard the sound when you fell?
Ach so.
If the time in the building was all messed up,
Then we can only rely on Nekomaru. The time of death, which is clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would 7:30 be in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when you fell.
Wie sage ich jetzt?
If
Das
the
ist halt
time in the
so
building was all
bescheuert.
messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock. The time of death, which is clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used? If only I heard the sound when you fell.
Ah,
I
endlich.
agree with that.
Ja, 7:30 Uhr, das war 5:30 Uhr bei euch,
We
immer
should have
noch.
heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
Rumbling?
I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we hear the impact sound.
we heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge. What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
There's nothing to worry about.
Wegen dem
What's
Raum.
important is that rumbling noise anyway.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning.
Huh? You can tell?
I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge.
Excellent work, Akane!
Der Rumbling Sound we heard at 5:30. It's like the answer how much. Wow, das hätte ich auch die ganze Zeit am Anfang irgendwie angeben können, dann hätte ich mir das jetzt eben sparen können.
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
2 hours? That much?
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
However, for what reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Lord, just
If you messed
Nekomaru.
with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone. From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
Besides messing with time, the killer also used specific thing. They're trying to lure. Hä?
I see.
Achso, ja, warum der da hingegangen ist, klar.
That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Great Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right? But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
And when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning,
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Ja, dass keiner gekommen ist.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Geez, how outrageous. Honestly, I didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Taichi. It turned out like this, so I guess I can't be helped.
When you said everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Ah, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar?
That's not it. It's incorrect.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru, the number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Hey, how did that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell? Who is it?
Who's the bastard?
Hä? Hä? War es Gundam? Hä? Alle waren doch da. Außer halt, Dings war... Oder, hä?
We will never give up.
Habe ich jetzt... Ach, keine Ahnung, was sie jetzt damit sagen wollten. Fuyuhiko kam nie raus. Oder meinst du Nagi? Hä? Ich glaub...
You're the only one. The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there.
Aber der ist es nicht, oder?
It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something.
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
If I may be frank,
Frank.
even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
You couldn't. You definitely...
Definitely fucking lying.
Weil man da keine Sounds hört.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House, but I did not hear the rumbling sound either.
Ja, deswegen...
Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it. To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too. I was in a pretty deep sleep.
Boah, Leute, es ist obvious. Sie... Boah. Man wird bestraft dafür, dass man einfach auf Deluxe Room. Okay, das bewahre ich mir auf. Das L steht für Loser. Gib mir ein E. Yes. Das kann ich entfernen. Hä? Okay, die muss man an der Zeit zerstören. Deluxe Room. Stocks. Ja, moin. Das M will ich behalten. Nein! Oh, wow. Ups, stimmt, da muss ich ja. Ja, klar.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe room, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
The guest rooms are divided up by quality grade. The deluxe room is soundproof and has an excellent air installation. The standard room may also, yeah.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It's because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent? Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Hold on a sec! Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Someone I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The clue who murdered Nekomaru. Ist es jetzt endlich mal Fuyuhiko? Echt nicht? Oder ist es actually... Wundern. Warum er?
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
Aber er hätte es auch nicht hören können.
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it...
Gundam?
There's only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko. Me? After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Nekomaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
Like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with a wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't.
Und das alles in einer halben
because Fuyuhiko was at the
Stunde.
lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the
Das meinte
lounge
ich halt.
and they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room, just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
I was in the lounge.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Und das hat keiner gemerkt, dass auf einmal Gundam daher kam. That records. It's louder than the supreme ruler of the netherworld bellowing for a sacrifice. Don't go making all that noise so suddenly.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Huh?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it? At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
You said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off. Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
Let's see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, he wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing, which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
Seine Viecher. When something's obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction.
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House...
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Ja.
There was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
Ich möchte irgendwie sagen, dass seine Viecher da...
Was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
Wie sage ich jetzt
The killer
Accomplice?
cannot return to Strawberry House.
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was
Okay, ich
only
muss...
means of travel. As long as that your assumption
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry...
Since I was at Strawberry, there's no question that the following
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there
Ah,
was
das
a
kann ich
secret
noch.
passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture? Why don't we stop this already?
Wie sag ich das
Elevator
jetzt?
was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot...
Since I was at there's no question that the following crime is
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you... Why don't we stop this already? Elevator, the only means of travel. As long as that your assumption
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to
Since I was at Strawberry, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Okay, das ist es nicht. Wie zeige ich das jetzt? Also, es kann ja nicht sein, dass die von... Der ist nicht von...
Damn it!
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot...
Since I was at there's no question that the
It would have been different if they had...
Or if there was a secret passageway.
Ah! Das will ich nochmal und dann an den Anfang. Das kann ja nicht diese Door sein. Okay, ich muss jetzt das hinbekommen, das zu treffen. Hä? Dass ich das nur treffen...
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry...
Since I was at Strawberry House, there's no question that the following...
Okay, das nächste, was ich ausprobiere, ist,
There was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan? Why don't we stop this already? That elevator.
Ja. 20.000 km/h an dir vorbei, egal wie du treffen willst, das funktioniert nicht.
We will never give up.
Elevator, the only means of travel between the two houses. As
Nein.
long as that elevator was your assumption collapsing.
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
Ich probiere mal zuerst.
Since I was at Strawberry House, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had no accomplice.
Okay, das wird nicht damit gemeint. Oh, jetzt muss ich wieder nach ganz vorne spulen, Pock.
That elevator, the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was your assumption collapsing.
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry...
Since I was at there's no question that the following...
It would have been different.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan? Why don't we stop this already?
Hey, richtig gute Idee, und dann so eine Kacke da am Ende zu bauen.
Elevator, the only means of travel. As long as that your assumption...
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot...
Since I was at there's no question that the...
It would have been different.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer
Danke.
do you plan to... Why don't we stop this already? That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
Endlich.
No, that's wrong.
Und dann auch wieder zurück durch die Dings oder was?
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
You're the only one.
Nagito, you should know. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method.
Ja, aber das ist eine Trapdoor, die nach unten führt und nicht wieder nach oben.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve force show up. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning, the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion. If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
Did you say? Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down!
Ja. Spackenattacke, yes.
I already proved a secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
Probably means... Ach so.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon. Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of...
Allow me to cut through those words!
Ja, Wire, Chain, hättest alles nehmen können.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body, the hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door in the tower. Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the Octagon. There were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the Octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the plots,
Dankeschön.
Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious he'd attempt that. At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And, without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower. There's no way he could fight head-on with the robotic Nekomaru, so by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
It appears I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
What do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button. However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
More like 5-on-1.
Just as I thought. Truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument, it was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitation.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making
Oh, jetzt machen wir den Kampf.
First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power.
Und Argumente sind wie Hamster oder 4 Devious of Destruction.
You must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you don't want to admit it. Then, just as you requested, I will provide an argument that will leave you no one to be pursued.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither!
Ist ein Minecraft-Effekt.
Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
Achso, nee. Ja, ich will the 4 Devious of Destruction.
I won't let you. For the Tanaka Empire. Wither. Crushed as David prophesied. It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think
The
I can get
4
behind him so easily?
Dark Devious.
This is the end! Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck. As long as you had the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh? Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster. But it would have been possible for Gundam. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes.
Ja, wurde ja. Ja, okay. Natürlich ist das Skyline Limitation auch Dark aus.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting. Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say you admit it?
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere. Now, trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own 2 hands.
Oh nein, ich muss es trotzdem machen. Okay. Uff, okay. Kann ich... Nein, kann ich nicht. Achso, erstmal muss ich den Knopf drücken, okay. Ja, den haben wir vorher noch platziert, ne? Also hier. Und dann bin ich aufgewacht. Ui. Stonks 2. Ah, warte. Hang the loop on the doorknob. Ne. Achso, jetzt sind alle... Jetzt geht dieser Alarm los. Ah, ne. Das passiert zu später. Messing with the base of the contract elevator ist da nicht richtig. Aber die Schlaufe da drum. Ah, hier. Stock 3. Ist das nicht... Müsste da nicht da irgendwie Last Stock stehen oder so? Okay. Hä? Der Alarm war niemals dafür set. Okay. Und jetzt meinetwegen. Hä? Das ist noch nicht Last Stock, deswegen. Hä? Ah, das kann ja nicht richtig sein. Das ist falsch. The fuck? Der fällt runter. Aber das kann ja nicht das sein. Das ist es nicht, wenn man sieht's hier. Das ist immer so ein Hinweis. So. Dann, der ist auch hier. Und, hä? Geil. Wow, obwohl es, ja, obwohl es nicht gestimmt hat, aber okay. So. Der hat das gecleant. Also muss er das gemacht haben oder was? Aber nee, das kann er, das hat er, muss er noch nicht vorher gemacht haben. Okay, die Zeit wusste man auch. Alles klar. Ja, Kisten. Ja, Doorknob fell auf. Da, zack. Oh, könnte Nagito das nicht einfach machen? Ich hab keinen Kakao mehr.
First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building. On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Great Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m. By that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Taichi begins. Nekomaru went to Great Tower to partake. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Great Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there. With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon.
Okay, nach Danganronpa-Zeit wären das schon jetzt 10 Minuten. Das wären jetzt nochmal 10
They
Minuten.
set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up.
Nochmal 10 Minuten.
Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob.
Mindestens
After leaving
15
Strawberry
Minuten.
Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall.
Wait a second. Okay, egal.
They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending, and Nekomaru's
Und das
body was
alles
still
in einer halben
inside,
Stunde.
dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer
Nach
entered Grape
Danganronpa
Tower
Zeit.
to see if their setup was successful, and placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back
Das
to
ist
their
genau
room
das,
using
was
the
ich
secret
meinte. Es
passage,
konnte zeitlich nicht passen.
so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge.
Also einerseits ja, das Zeitliche. Fuyuhiko hat das
As a
nicht
result,
bemerkt.
the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm
Weißt du, er kam aus dem Zimmer raus und auf einmal steht der Gundam.
Actually 7. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob, but because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking. Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
Splendid. That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself! I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe you killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that!
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret? Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka!
Das Ganze mit dem... Das Haus dreht sich und so war weiterhin vollkommen irrelevant. Das war komplett irrelevant. Das hat keinerlei irgendwas, also nicht mal Komplexität hat dazu hinzugefügt. Allein der Fakt angeblich somit. Oder das Ausschlaggebende, um den Fall zu lösen, war nicht die Struktur oder sonst irgendwas. Es war einfach, dass der da war, weil eigentlich hätte er es nicht hören dürfen.
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever! Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
Ich hoffe wenigstens, die Execution ist gut. It would be bad if I bit my tongue again, so I will speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys were correct once again. Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic Nekomaru is amazing funhouse was Gundam Tanaka. Nice! I said all that without biting my tongue.
Now then.
We've decided who the killer is. Let's do the execution already and get over with this. Hold on. It's sure that the class trial is finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish yet until we hear it from Gundam. No matter what he says, it won't change a thing. Well, I have no right to stop you either. So do whatever you like. Why do you want to talk to the one who has lost? The loser merely leaves. It would have just been unnecessary for me to say something. Is it what you like to say? But for honor's sake, I shall correct one thing, correct? You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him. That, however, is a great mistake, huh? Nekomaru did fight. That is no mistake. And because he fought, he lost and died.
Damn it!
Lost and died? He was just trying to...
of causality.
If he was just trying to clinch to life, there are many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that. What do you mean? Explain. Fine then. Then I shall reveal it all. Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the funhouse, and I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower, and this is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation, and we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away or even called for help, but he did not turn his back to me. Instead, he chose a fight that risked life and death. A fight that risked life and death? He was serious too. He gave it all to try to kill me. If I had died instant, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by myself. Nobody would have known that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Nekomaru really did that?
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
The scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this. This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great one.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka. Heroes, Lords of Darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me. I'm not into any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid! In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back. Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
Nekomaru Nidai, your blood will drench the foundation of my empire.
That is...
Why did you fight? We're all friends. Why couldn't you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was all wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you. However, I must say this. What's the point of living if we are just waiting until you finally die? There's nothing courageous about that. That abandoned, a mere feeling of resignation. Wait, are you telling us to just wait until we starve to death? I would rather have that happen to us than have our friends kill each other. Do you mean that you would rather die? Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone had been dominated by that feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up. Giving up on life, that's just an insult to life itself. Have you fools heard of the term dog eat dog? Cannibalism? In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism. That is what it means to live. If you say killing for the sake of living is evil, then what would you call giving up on life itself? If the world would consider that justice, then I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. Giving up upon life and choosing death is nothing but a blasphemy toward life. It is a violation of the natural order. It is the ignorance of humanity. Are you saying that all that tried to justify what you did? But it sounds like Ikemari felt the same too, that's why they thought, right? That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That is why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, as I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you fools. I've betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth. But even so, don't you think it's a better alternative to slowly starving to death here? That belief is why you committed your crime. What about the final dead room? Did you do the Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Like Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle between Nekomaru, that was a mere child's play.
Well?
You know, after listening to you talk for a while, I'm starting to think that, well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted you had crime without much resistance. Gundam, don't tell me you didn't sacrifice yourself for the sake of our, did you? I can't believe you would ask such a foolish question. Just who do you think I am? History's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I would sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools.
Like dust in the wind.
10 million years in the name of Pandarnormion. It is impossible. Is that it? Then I will just leave it at that. Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It's about time the fight started. Monokuma, let's begin.
Yes, indeed.
Got it. I've prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka. This is too much. Please help Gundam.
Huh?
Miss Sonia. Sonia. An act of unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death does not benefit a noble such as yourself. Gundam. It's fine to start for reals, right? Yes, I do not mind, however.
What is it, my four dark devas of destruction? Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared four dark devas of destruction. That is not like you at all. However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, And now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness. That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end! Open sesame pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Oh, das wäre beinahe traurig noch gewesen. Gute Sache, dass das wieder so ein bisschen lächerlich war. Oh boy. Ich wollte gerade sagen, kommt irgendwas mit Tieren? Ultimate Breeder. Kommt jetzt auch was aus dem Intro, diese Animation? Die dürfen aber noch rennen, das wollte ich noch fragen. Ja, okay, alles klar. Er hat sich darüber aufgeregt, dass er in den Himmel muss. Uff. Extreme! Gundam, no. Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still linger deep in our chest. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? Then what's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll be able to answer that.
Damn it.
Damn it. I'm so pissed off, I need to throw something.
Damn it!
You all spend so much time worrying about each other, and thanks to that, things end up like this. You're all full of shit, every last one of you. But the biggest piece of shit is me.
Worst.
Why I'm so weak.
Oh.
It's such a downer. But still, even though we feel this way, we still gotta do our very best.
You are right.
This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If
You
not,
are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell and presume he will be very cross with us. You're right, you're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand here. Stand up and walk. Move forward. Live. Okay. Schmeiß erstmal die Show. If you don't, everyone who fought and died with all died in vain. We can't allow that.
Hey!
So you're going to stand around chattering. The class drill is over. So it's okay if you to hurry back to Jabberwock Island. However, the killing school trip will proceed as usual, so make sure you know that.
Wait!
Hold on, how much longer are you going to keep doing this? Seriously, how long is he going to keep doing this? How long is this going to continue?
Now then.
Alright, after feeling down for so long, I finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food. Hold on a second, that mood shift is too damn fast.
Not like
Well,
that.
you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. That's what it means to live, right? Yeah, she's certainly something else. But seriously, I'm starving.
Hey, hey.
Then let's go back for now and eat. I'm gonna eat you. Then, after we are full, let's leave as much as we want.
Right?
And then, let's do our best again. Yeah, you're right. Denn jetzt mal irgendwie anfangen, das Lied zu genießen auf der Insel. With this, the class trial has come to an end. And once again we turn to Jabberwock Island. The size of our group has definitely diminished. But despite that, even if it was just the rest of us, we did our best to stay upbeat and have fun together. Of course, our optimism was only irgendwas. But at the moment, we were able to forget about the dark despair looming before us. However, the only thing I was worried about was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. Nagito. Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Thanks to that, I was able to learn that the identity of our true enemy. And before everyone else too. But it's too funny, I mean, no one could tell that I was lying. There's no way that file had just Hajime's information.
Well,
I guess they were too busy with other matters. Or maybe they've reached their limits. Regardless, I was safe. Things would have get complicated if they found out. Anyway, I can't forgive this. This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this run loose. I will be the one who stops this once and for all, even if it costs me my life. For the sake of hope, I cannot ignore this.
My Kuma appeared!
Who summoned me?
now then.
Thanks for coming.
What's this?
Why is it the lonely little Nagito? Are you all alone tonight
What's the
too?
matter?
So what's up? Your face looks scary. I see, so you can tell... Ah, perhaps you found out who the traitor is. You know me well.
Oh.
Is that what you like to say? But unfortunately I haven't learned that yet. I see, so even you don't know. Looks like the final showdown is gonna take a little more time.
Hello.
So, why did you summon me anyway? Were you finally gonna confess your love?
Hey,
I summoned you because there's something I really need to ask you. It's about the special prize from the final dead room. What about it? There was information about 16 people in the file I received. But isn't that weird?
Say what?
you don't
Well,
even
there's
know?
a traitor from the Future Foundation hidden among us, right? Including that person, the number of students would be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
But this file contains documents that were created at Hopspeak Academy, right?
Of course!
That's right, I reused the stuff that the former headmaster spent a lot of time making. If this file even contains information about the traitor, was that person also a former student of Hopspeak Academy?
Who knows?
I wonder.
Hey,
Could it be? Is this your doing? Did you slip false information into the file? Were you trying to keep us from learning the traitor's identity by obtaining this information? What's wrong with that? If it's my job to heat things up, it's okay if I do something small like that, right?
well,
That's not my point.
right?
My point is you already know who the traitor is. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled up!
Well, you're splendid correct when you say I knew who the traitor was all along. But even though I know who it is, why did you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Munami after losing her magic stick. The traitor's existence means absolutely nothing to me. The existence means nothing, huh?
No,
Yeah, that's just how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel somewhat different. After all, that person is the evil Future Foundation lackey who is putting you guys through this awful stuff. That's not entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. Instead, I came here to offer my cooperation, you know? Cooperation?
Hey,
Your purpose is to fill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you're intentionally letting the traitor do as they please, right?
Yep.
If that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat too.
right?
However, in exchange, I want to know who the traitor is. I see, interesting, very interesting.
No, no!
Obviously, that's a big no-no. I mean, I want to make everyone in your group feel despair. That includes you too. Well, I knew you would say that. Besides, I just wouldn't be able to handle the sadness when you inevitably betray me later on. Just as I thought, you saw right through me.
You're right.
No matter what situation I find myself in, my core way of thinking will never change. In order to create absolute hope that shines brightly, step ladders as such as myself and despair exists. You're right. You're a true believer of hope. After all, I must say that belief reminds me of that person for some reason. Reminds you? I don't know who you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky.
Like...
But you're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something like this.
Wow.
Am I? I actually think I'm very lucky.
Say what? You don't know?
Would you say that coming across this much despair is rather a rare opportunity? I can't really rely on anyone on the island. That's why I have to be the one who does it. If I can eliminate despair from this island, I won't be a stepladder anymore. I will become true hope. I will become an existence that could even be called ultimate hope. The two of you are alike. You definitely remind me of him.
Hey.
Hey, there's one more thing I want to ask you.
See?
Who are you waiting for on this island? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is the person you're waiting for already on this island?
Hey.
Well, answer my question. If that's the case, if that person is already on this island, wouldn't that be exciting? Oh boy. Oh yes. Ich finde, ich habe gewonnen. In diesem Sinne würde ich sagen, war es das mit dieser Episode. Ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich fürs Zusehen, wünsche allen noch einen wunderschönen Tag und sage tschö, bis dann und man sieht sich.